Hello and welcome to the Maths Week Scotland Grand Prix. My name is Daniel and I love Formula One. Today, you are going to use maths, digital skills, and data skills to learn how sports teams can use numbers, probabilities, and data to beat their opponents and win. We're coming to you today live from the paddock above our team garages, and I'm here with the king of calculation, Craig. Hi, Craig.
Hello, Daniel. This is the day that we've been counting down to. I've just had a look at the track conditions and it looks like we're in for something special. Hello, everyone. My name's Craig. I love learning about maths. My favourite subject is computing, and I love playing with tech and writing code. But today I'm really interested in finding out more about the maths behind car racing.
Yes. Now, did you attend our Grand Prix in September? Well, if you did, don't worry, we've got some new questions for you. There are over 1,000 of you joining us for the Grand Prix today, and you are now all part of our racing team. We're called Fractal Racing. Now, Formula One is a team sport, and everyone watching are your teammates. We are counting on you. Now, you're joining us from across Scotland, so we asked how the weather conditions are where you are. Archie from Oxgangs Primary says that it's windy. Lloyd, Daniel, and Alexander at Drongan Primary, they said it's sunny there. And in Uphall, Brandon and Conlon said that the weather's sunny, but it's cold.
Yeah, it's good to get these race reports in, Daniel. Robbie from Kilmarnock Academy says it's sunny and windy where they are. Elise and Olivia from Newington Primary said it is cold where they are as well. And Xander from Carntine Primary, it's my old school, Daniel.
Ah.
They say it's cloudy where they are as well. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning. So we want to see how you're getting on throughout the lesson. So if you're a teacher or an adult, you can tweet us. You can use the handle at DigiSkillsEd. You can use the handle at MathsWeekScot. We love your photos and messages and seeing how your class is getting on. So Daniel, I know a little bit about numbers and maths, but I don't know much about Formula One. What's going to happen today?
Yes, so Formula One or F1 is a team sport where cars race one another. And in fact, it is the world's most popular sports series. It is the most watched sports series around the world. Millions of people watch these races. And Formula One, well, they describe the races as contested by the most skilled drivers. They say that the world's top manufacturers create the most technologically advanced cars in history. And these drivers, they push their cars to insane speeds with acceleration that supercars could only dream of. Now, these cars, they can reach 370 kilometers an hour and they experience G forces that only fighter pilots can relate to. Even astronauts don't get G forces like this, Craig.
Oh my goodness.
Formula One is all about pushing the limits of speed, science, maths, and data. Now, I'd like to know if any of you are Formula One fans. If you are, give a big cheer in your class just now.
I can see a lot of likes
Yeah,
coming in, Daniel, as well. Daniel,
I
that's brilliant.
can. Now, don't worry if you've never seen a race before. You don't even need to be a fan or have seen any Formula One to be able to take part in our challenge today. And in fact, you can do very well without having heard of Formula One before. It's not a prerequisite. Craig, can you name any of the teams?
Yeah, I know a few. I know Ferrari and McLaren, Red Bull Racing. Is that right?
Yeah, those are teams. In fact, they're some of the fastest, most well funded teams in the sport. So, some of the top engineering companies in the world, they enter these teams in races called Grand Prix. And recently, there was one in Abu Dhabi. But today, we have moved to a different exotic destination. We have moved to the Scottish Highlands, so maybe not quite as sunny as it is in the UAE. Now, our team is called Fractal Racing, and all of you, you are our strategy engineers.
So I can already see, Daniel, there's hundreds of you taking part and there's more people joining right now. You've still got time to take part. If you want to take part, you can either go to cyberskillslive.com, our website, and you're going to click the part that says at the top, start the live lesson. Or you can go to menti.com and type in the code that's at the top of the screen there. Daniel, there's loads of people taking part today as well. We're going to be able to see everybody's answers on our data dashboard. Do you want me to go and have a look at some of our responses from earlier?
Yes, if you could collect one of the responses from one of our questions that we brought up
Yep.
before we got started, Craig, then
So
we
I
can show
asked
that
people
now.
how they were feeling ahead of today's race. So here's the responses so far, Daniel. I will bring them up on the screen on our data dashboard. Oh, looks like a lot of you are excited. A lot
Ooh.
of you are feeling competitive today as well. A few people nervous, Daniel.
I can see that number's changing as more people answer the question. Now we can actually see how many people answer each question, which is quite fun. And there's also that big thumbs up button. Every time you
Yeah.
push that, we see the thumbs up coming up on the stream.
So if you would like a shout out from us today, you need to answer the questions when we send them in. But it's not about being the quickest answer. If you give us a thoughtful answer, an insightful answer, a detailed answer, and you need to tell us your first name and you need to tell us your school as well, we'll be able to give you a shout out, Daniel, won't we?
Yes. So just as a reminder, to answer questions, at the top of the screen, you can see you need to head to menti.com and it's that code that you need to type in. So,
Okay.
what does it take to win something like the Maths Week Scotland Grand Prix? What do you need? Well, it's time to ask you another question. I'd like to know what you think the most important factor is when it comes to winning races. So, this is a ranking question. You're going to have to order these from most important to least important. So, do you think it is most important to have the fastest car? Do you think the driver makes the biggest difference? Do you think the races are decided in the pit stops? Or do you think strategy makes the difference between winning and losing? I'd like you to rank these now.
So to rank them, you have to put them in order of what you think is the most important. I guess these are all things, Daniel, that must go into winning a race, especially at that level as well. Be interesting to know what people think. Should we give people another 30 seconds or so, Daniel?
Yes, let's do that. I can see lots of answers coming in already.
Yeah, that's great. This is exactly what we need in a team. We need a big team of hundreds of people answering. What do you think? Fastest car,
Yeah. And I can
fastest
tell you all
driver.
of these matter.
Mhm.
These are all really important things in Formula One.
Shall we have a look at your responses then, Daniel?
Yes, let's have a look, Craig.
Wow. So it's
That's
really clear
interesting.
there. Yeah. So you've said that the most important thing by far seems to be the strategy. It looks like the other things are quite important too: pit stops, fastest car, fastest driver, but strategy is right up there at the top. Daniel, what do you think about that?
I think that's a really insightful answer. And I think, given that we are doing a workshop all about data and probabilities and making decisions with data, it doesn't surprise me that we've got some people who would definitely be best on the strategy team here.
So tell me a bit more then, Daniel. Like, is strategy a big part of Formula One then? So have we got that right?
Yes. So all of the teams, they all have really fast cars. They've all got great drivers. But what often makes the difference in the races is the strategy. It's the decisions that they make. So this here is Hannah Schmitz, and she is one of the biggest reasons that Red Bull has managed to win the last 3 seasons in a row. And do you know what? She's even been awarded Engineer of the Year for her work. So Hannah Schmitz works for Red Bull Racing, and she is their principal strategy engineer. So she makes some of the most important decisions in that team, like when to make a pit stop, or when to push hard for an overtake, or even how much fuel to put in the car before the race. So she's definitely not a driver, but she is one of the most important people in that team. And Hannah Schmidt is really good at making those decisions quickly using maths. So today we are going to be like Hannah. We are going to use maths and data to make some decisions that are going to help us win this race.
Daniel, I'm so excited for the race today. Can we have a time check? How long to go?
Yes, I think, Craig, we've got about 10 or 15 minutes before the race gets underway.
Brilliant. So I guess now would be a good time then, Daniel, to reveal our race car. What do you think of this?
Oh, I like the color scheme, Craig.
Yeah. Teams in Formula One, they are all going to have a name, they're all going to have a distinctive color scheme and a car design. But we are missing something though, because big brands and tech companies usually sponsor Formula One teams. So, for example, Google sponsor McLaren and TikTok sponsor Aston Martin. So, earlier we asked you who should be the official sponsors of Fractal Racing, Daniel. I've had some suggestions in.
Okay.
Would you like to read some out? Okay. So, Archie from Oxgangs said Nintendo could be our sponsor, potentially.
Yeah.
How about this one, Daniel? Gabby from Lone Head Primary said maybe Taylor Swift would sponsor it. That could be a good way to bring in a lot of different fans who might not normally watch Fractal Racing.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a pop star sponsor a car, but why
Sponsor a
not?
car.
Why not?
Yeah. Xanda from Carntine Primary has said Red Bull. Now there might be a conflict of interest there, Daniel. What do you think?
There might be. There is a team that Red Bull have strong involvement in called Red Bull, but that is a good suggestion. They're exactly the kind of brand that would be in Formula One, and do you know what they are?
There's a few more ones that Daniel people have sent in. Who else are people suggesting?
Um, here's going from Rory and Lonehead. The NHS.
Oh,
I guess they could
very
be promoting
patriotic.
safety, perhaps. I can see
Would be
Taylor
interesting.
has suggested Mercedes Benz.
Mhm.
Logan has suggested Converse.
Brilliant. We've got a big bunch of teams who've suggested, but yeah, I think we'll get on to these teams then and see what they say. So thank you to Oxgangs, Carntine, Lonehead, and Armadale as well for all your suggestions as well, and everybody else who's been sending them in too. Right, Daniel, can I have another time check, please?
Yes, we have 10 minutes until the Grand Prix gets underway. So we've got just enough time to do some questions to warm up and put our math skills to the test. Now, Craig, before we do that, I'm just going to give people another reminder of how they can get onto the questions.
Good,
So
good.
you need to head to menti.com and there's a code that you need to type in. Now, I have another screen where it's written much bigger, which I'm just going to bring up very briefly so that you have a chance to do that. So maybe you want to take a photo of this in your
Yeah, we've got
class.
time, Daniel, to keep it up for a minute or so, I think. So
So, yes, we'll be back in just a second.
I can see, Daniel, there's a lot of people joining us now as well. If you can't get onto the Mentimeter, we're going to keep putting the code up as we go through the questions. If it doesn't work for you immediately, it might work again in just a second. But I can tell that there's hundreds of you playing right now as well, so you should be able to get into it. So, Daniel, the Grand Prix is starting soon, but I think we've got time to do a couple of warm up questions.
Yes, so the first question that we would like to know is all about reading data. We'd like to know at what time the rain is going to stop. So you'll see that question come up on your Mentimeter now on your device. If you want to make the picture bigger, you can tap on it and you'll see some options that you can select.
So, weather conditions make a big difference to how you need to set up your car. So, it's important to know what the weather will be like. So, I've brought that question up now for you to answer. I'll give you a few minutes just to see if you can get your answer in. So we've got some weather data here, Daniel. This weather forecast, it's an example of data.
Yes, and this data has been presented in a chart to try and make it easier to read and understand. And these are the conditions in Aviemore today. So we'd like to know at what time we think the rain is going to be stopped by.
Okay. Let's give people a few seconds just to answer that just now, Daniel. Lots of responses coming in.
Yes.
Again, if you're wanting to join, make sure you go to menti.com. And the number is 32434282. I can see all the responses coming in, Daniel. Should we give it another 20 seconds?
Yes, let's give people 20 seconds and then we're going to reveal the answer.
Fantastic schools right across Scotland taking part today.
Yes, and do you know what, Craig? I can see a few that are coming from slightly further afield too. I think we've got a few in England, a few in Wales.
Oh, that's good. We can have an international team. That might be helpful.
We can. Maths Week Scotland competitors aren't only for people in
You don't have
Scotland.
to be.
No.
No.
Just where
Anyone
it's
in the world. Okay, Daniel. Shall we have a look at people's responses to this question?
Go for it, Craig.
So you said, oh, looks like, Daniel, most people are saying 1 p.m. Over 260 people have said 1 p.m. Let's have a look at the chart then, Daniel, and then let's see what you think. So 1 p.m., what's going on here? So I can see it's raining at 10, 11, 12, and then 1 p.m. Yeah, it looks as if it's going to be sunny, Daniel.
Yeah,
So that's
and
the right answer.
That is the right answer. And we can look at the percentages at the bottom. So that's how likely it is to rain. So it looks like it's 56% likely to be raining at 12 o'clock. But at 1 o'clock, it's 0%. Now, interestingly, these are given as 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. There's an hour between then. So at 12 o'clock, it's 56% likely to rain. And at 1 o'clock, it's 0% likely to rain. I wonder at what point between them it will stop.
Yeah. This data is not very precise, Daniel, isn't it? It's not saying exactly when. However, in the real races, would they be using other technology or like sensors or something to try and get a more precise answer?
Yes, so in the races, they have a radar and they can see all of the clouds as they come towards the track. And in fact, they get basically a minute by minute description of what the weather will be like at different parts in the track. So it's not unusual in a race for the team to say to the driver, watch out, it's going to start raining in 3 minutes. The first place that will get wet will be turn 10 because that's the bit that's closest to where the rain clouds are coming in. Because the track isn't all going to get wet at the same time. The rain has to pass overhead. So yes, they have very precise data.
I see. And the way that this data is presented, we've got here is in the form of a chart. And the idea is that that needs to be easy to read and understand, especially if you want to be able to read it in an instant during the race. So being able to read something from a chart and understand it would be an important part of winning a Formula One race and being able to understand the decisions to make. So that was good practice, Daniel.
Yes,
Should we have
that's
another
right, Craig.
question?
So we want to help our drivers be the fastest that they can be. So we have some lap times from Lewis Hamilton in different parts of qualifying. So that's how you set your fastest lap to decide what order you start the race in. But we'd like to know in which part of qualifying, which session was Lewis Hamilton fastest? Was it Q1, Q2, or Q3? So for this one, we'd like you to tell us the session, and if you want to shout out, tell us your name and your school as well. Now I can see a lot of you are racing to tell us the answers, but
Yep.
you've not given yourself enough time to put
answer.
in. You've not given yourself enough time to type in your name and your school.
Yeah, it needs to be a sensible answer, a thoughtful answer. A few people coming in with answers here. Who's suggesting some answers, Daniel, here?
Yes, so I can see that Jenny at Peel Primary has suggested session Q3.
Mhm. Jude from Millenthorpe Primary is also saying Q3, so that's two answers for there. And Robbie from Kilmarnock Academy says the same, Daniel, Q3.
I can see that Fraser at Newington is saying Q3.
A lot of good answers here coming in. Bonnie from Carntine. You know, I don't want to be biased, Daniel. Carntine Primary was my old school, and I can see that they're doing really well with maths today. So shout out to Miss Young's class. Well done.
Yeah. Now we are getting some people saying Q2 as well. Q2 is
Okay.
definitely the next most popular answer.
Okay, so what's going on here, Daniel? Tell me a bit about these times.
Yeah, so this is how long it takes the car to go around the lap. So they start at stopwatch when they cross the start line, and they pause the stopwatch when they cross that line again. So this is how long it takes the car to get around. So to be fastest, you want the shortest amount of time. You want the smallest number here.
Right.
So the fastest time is the smallest time.
So what would be the smallest number there, Daniel, is Q3.
Yes.
So I can see Alexis from Dumfries Academy. Well done, you got that right. Q3. Jessica from Lone Head. Well done for getting Q3 as well. Ellie and Emily from Newington Primary. You also got that as well. And Jack from Locker Briggs Primary, Daniel, he said Lewis Hamilton, he had the fastest in Q3 because it is the lowest time. So justifying the answer there as well, showing his working essentially.
Yes. So the reason that teams might want to know this is because if they can work out when their drivers were the fastest, they can ask them to try and replicate the same way that they drove in the race the next day. Or do you know, it might also be that they tried different setups with the car in each session. So maybe they made some changes and then they want to be able to set up the car to be as fast as it can. So they'll try and set it up to match that session in which they were the quickest.
Oh, that's really interesting. Right, let's have another question then, Daniel.
Yes.
So Formula One cars, they have hundreds of different sensors on them, and that gives them sort of real-time data about everything that's happening in the car. Things like how hot the brakes are, or how much fuel is left, or where it is on the track. Here is some sensor data, and it shows the speed of the car all the way around the track. We want to know how many times has the car reached its top speed of 310 kilometers per hour in one lap. Okay, so the question is, how many times does the car reach its top speed of 310 kilometers an hour in one lap? Look at that sensor data and give us your answer. Remember, you want to put your answer in, your name, and your school. Okay, Daniel, let's give people a minute or so to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess one of the most important things in a Formula One race must be knowing your car's top speed, because on a straight, you want to have the fastest car possible. You want to be able to pass other people by going faster than them.
Yeah,
So being
that's right,
able to,
Craig.
yeah, so being able to read and understand sensor data is an important skill in Formula One. I'm just trying to get into Formula One, Daniel. I need to know what to do to win. I guess passing other people going fast is a big part.
Yes. Now, I can see lots of you have been sending in answers, and lots of you have been sending in the right answer. Now, I can tell you who was the first person to get the right answer. That's quite interesting. It was Amos and Harris at Milnathorpe Primary School. You were the first people to get
Excellent.
your answer in on this question.
And was it the right answer, hopefully?
It was.
Who else have we got, Daniel?
Greg at Gargiston was also very quick at getting the answer. Robbie at Kilmarnock was very quick.
I can see Brody from Cockenzie Primary getting the right answer as well as Lennox from Dumfries.
Blake at Lacarbriggs doesn't seem too confident with her answer, but they are right, so trust your intuition.
Yeah. Tess and Mason from Kirkhill Primary, you also got the right answer as well. And Iona and Ayana from St Andrews, definitely getting the right answer there. They even gave me it in capital letters, Daniel. That's how confident they were.
Okay, Craig. So let's have a look at this graph. So if we have speed on the y-axis, the one that goes up and down, and we have distance on the x-axis, if it's 1 lap long going across here, it looks like our top speed is 310 kilometers an hour. How many times do we touch that line? Now it
Yeah,
looks
so
to me,
you've marked that max speed. It looks like it's beside the 300, but actually that purple is 310, isn't it? If
yeah,
you were to
that's right.
count up. So let's follow it with your finger. Like if I touch it on the screen and I follow it with my finger, right, it reaches it once and then it
Mm-hmm.
goes back down and then it reaches it again. So I think it's two, Daniel. I think it reaches the top speed twice.
Yeah, I agree, Craig. It looks like we reach the top speed around 2,000 meters, 2 kilometers into the lap. So it must be a straight at that point.
Yeah, that's the point where there's a straight where you want to
And
go
then
faster.
again, about 3,200 meters into the track, there must
That's
be
a
another
shorter
straight
straight.
because
It is.
the
Yeah.
car is reaching its top speed there too.
So those are our points where we want to actually try and overtake the other cars. That's our best chance. Daniel, we have got a fantastic team of mathematicians, data scientists, engineers in the chat here, in the answers here as well. These are all doing a brilliant job. I think we've got time for one more question, Daniel, before the race.
Yes, just enough time. So Formula One teams, they bring all of their equipment with them from race to race. And there's a lot to move. So they have to bring all of their tools and their equipment. They even have to bring things like offices and toilets to the racetrack. That's because these tracks are in the middle of nowhere. They have to bring all the facilities they need with them. Fractal Racing, they have worked out that they need to bring one toilet for every 10 people in the team. Now, we've got 85 people on our team that are travelling to the track. We'd like to know, how many toilets do we need to ship to the racetrack?
So this is called logistics, Daniel, and it's all about making sure things are in the right place at the right time. And you need maths to be able to do that. Logistics is a huge part of Formula One. And that's why some of the biggest sponsors are logistics companies, people like DHL, people like UPS. Because think about it, Daniel, if it was a race day and you've not got some of the most important equipment, whether it's toilets or your car itself or the drivers in the right place at the right time, it's not going to work for you. And these races take place all over the world. You were saying that there was one in Abu Dhabi. There's been ones in Singapore, in Miami, in Las Vegas, and now in Aviemore as well. So all these teams have to travel around the world, and sometimes I can't get from one place to another without forgetting something. So this is a really important thing to know.
It really is. Now, Craig, I can see lots of good answers coming in, and some people also explaining their answers, which is very helpful.
We've had a few tweets in, Daniel, as well. Millenthorpe Primary School and Nursery. The P7s have said that they are really enthusiastic, especially their F1 enthusiasts today, and they're excited to be taking part. Thank you very much for sending us a message.
Now, Craig, some people have been giving a number of toilets that isn't a whole number. It's not a round
Mm,
number.
mhm.
Some people have been saying 8.5.
I see. You can't have you can't order 0.5 of a toilet, Daniel. You have to bring either the whole toilet or not the toilet. So think about your rounding there. Okay, so I see what you've done because you've went 80. You've said there's 10 people. We need one for every 10, so you're dividing it by 10, and you get 85 divided by 10, which is 8.5. But there are people, Daniel, who know to do some rounding as well. So, like Zach from Lockbriggs Primary has been rounding it as well. Dawson from Peel Primary School has been rounding the number too.
Yeah. Emmy and Olivia have said 9 because you can't buy half a toilet.
You
That's
can't buy
exactly
half a
right.
toilet.
You can't buy half a toilet.
Can you imagine how confused the logistics team would be if you were like, can I have 8.5 toilets, please?
Yeah.
I can see I can see Finlay from Dumfries Academy getting the right answer as well. Um, Walker, you weren't sure if you had the right answer. You needed one more than that. You guessed 8, you rounded down, but that could cause problems. So make sure you round up.
Sophia, Leia, Leela, and Erin, you got the right answer. Well done.
We've had so many good answers, Daniel. Everybody's obviously
Yes.
really good at logistics here. Right. Let me just get myself organized here, Daniel. So we must be due about to start. The race must be about to begin, but
Yeah,
we've
we've
got
only.
time to before we start the race. We should actually thank our supporters. So we're doing this race today alongside Maths Week Scotland, and Maths Week Scotland is a celebration of the importance of maths in our everyday lives. And the theme for this year is Maths Tales and how maths influences the stories we care about, whether that's the books that we read, the news, or even sports. So thank you very much to their support. We are able to bring Maths Week Scotland Grand Prix to thousands of listeners across Scotland. Thank you.
Now,
Maybe
if
you
you'd
want to
like to
host. Yeah,
to
go.
host
Why don't you? You
a
do that.
Grand Prix in your city, well, maybe you could be the headline sponsor for our next event. If you get in touch, we can talk you through the numbers.
Yeah, so if you would like to have a Grand Prix at your school, or you could be the headline sponsor, speak to Daniel.
Now, Craig, these are our starting lights. That means we're doing final preparations before we get going. The Grand Prix is about to start. We've only got a minute or two before we get started. But we have a contact on the pit wall. Now, the pit wall is where all the principal engineers work during the race. Now, we've got someone on our team called Kirsty. Kirsty is the principal strategy engineer for Fractal Racing, and she's ready to make an introduction, Craig.
Bring her
So
on.
we'll put her on? Okay. Over to you, Kirsty.
Hi, strategy team. This is Kirsty calling from the pit wall. I'll be your point of contact for the heart of the action. As the race unfolds, I'll be keeping you updated and reaching out to you, our strategy engineers, for some advice.
Thanks, Kirsty. So during the races, the strategy engineer, so that's us, we'll get given questions from the pit wall. And when they need help with strategy, they'll get in touch with us to look at that data.
So let's look at the positionings of where we're going to be for this race, Daniel. So we are Fractal Racing. And at the moment, we're starting in 5th position. Do you see us there, Daniel, right in the
Yep,
middle?
I can see us.
5th position.
Yep, right here.
And these are our competitors today. So what are we going to have to do during this race, Daniel?
Yeah, so during the race, we're going to have to make some decisions based on maths and data. And you know what? There will probably also be some luck involved too. Now, if you get something right, we're going to be able to go faster and overtake our opponents. But if you make bad strategy decisions, then we'll stay where we are, or do you know what? We might even fall back behind the pack.
I want to be in 1st position by the end of this race, Daniel. Okay, Daniel, I think it's time. Are we ready to make our first strategy decision?
Oh, Craig, the buzzer's going off. That means Kirsty has a question for us. I'm going to put her straight through.
Okay, it's time for your first decision. We need to choose what tyres to start the race on. Soft tyres will give us the best getaway. They're grippy and fast, but they will wear down quickly and we'll need to stop to change them after only 10 laps. Hard tyres are much more resilient. They will last 30 laps, but they're slippier and slightly slower. What tyres shall I instruct the pit crew to put onto the car?
Okay. So it sounds like we've got a bit of a decision to make here, Craig. We're going to have to decide which tyres we are going to start the race on. We've got two choices. We've got soft tyres, and we've also got some hard tyres that we can put on. And we need to decide which ones are going to be the best to put onto the car.
So let's look at the numbers then. Let's look at some of the data for this because we want people to make a decision. So you can either have soft tyres or hard tyres. And this is our data sheet about it. So reading this table, it looks to me like Your average speed would be faster on hard tires, but it looks as if it's going to take you you're going to be slower to accelerate, Daniel.
Yeah, so it looks like the soft tires are the faster ones. You can accelerate slightly quicker, you've got more grip, and you've got a higher average speed. But there is a cost. The cost is that they don't last as long. We're going to have to pit sooner, or we might have to pit extra times because they just don't go as far into the race. Now, these races are really long, so we're going to have to make pit stops. So they are an important thing to consider.
So it's up to you then. You have to decide, are we going to use soft tires, which will get us off the ground, off at the start of the race nice and quickly, but it will mean we'll have to change them. It's, a sooner point. Or are we going to start with hard tires, Daniel? What do most teams choose?
Yeah, so most teams at the start of the race choose to go on the soft tyre because it means they get a better getaway. But always there'll be a few cars which will choose the hard one. They'll take the riskier option because they know that, you know what, sometimes the hard tyre is the best one to be on. Sometimes there might be a safety car or an incident, and it means they can just run so much further into the race. So, you know what, there are advantages to both, but most people tend to go soft.
Shall we see, Daniel, what people have chosen?
Yes, let's have a look.
Okay, so I'm going to stop allowing the responses. And I'm going to reveal the results, Daniel.
Okay, let's have a look, Craig.
Soft tires, Daniel.
Soft
looks
tires,
like it's 60%. That's the decision
That's
then.
the decision made. Okay, we'll tell Kirsty. Kirsty, we're going to go for soft tires today.
I think it's time to start the race.
Okay, Craig. Let's get going.
Welcome to the breathtaking Scottish Highlands, where the 2024 Winter Maths Week Scotland Grand Prix is about to unfold. As we gear up for this adrenaline-fueled spectacle, the stage is set for an electrifying showdown among the world's finest drivers and teams. Keep an eye out for Fractal Racing. Winners last time, but they're not starting from the front this time. Can they do it again? Get ready for high-speed drama, gripping manoeuvres and edge-of-your-seat action in this race to conquer the Scottish Highlands.
Cars are off to a really quick start. It looks like we have made a really solid start to the race. Now, we started in 5th position. We had a great first lap. We overtook some people. Craig, we're now in 3rd place. We have
brilliant.
gained a couple of positions.
So it sounds like it was the right decision then, Daniel, at this point to choose the soft tyres. It's helped us get off to a flying start. We're in 3rd position already, Daniel.
Yes, excellent work.
We'll be right back with another race update.
Yes,
We'll be right back with another race update. You join us again a little bit further in the race now, Daniel. So we're on lap 9 now. And the good news is we're still in 3rd position.
Oh, sorry, Craig. That's the buzzer. Kirsty must have a question for us. I'm going to put her through straight away.
Hi strategy team, this is Kirsty from the pit wall. In a few laps, we need to make a pit stop to change tyres. We have the opportunity to make other setup changes to the car to improve performance, like adjusting the wings and suspension. Changing these will take time at the stop and people will pass us, but will make the car a little faster towards the end of the race. What shall we do at the pit stop?
Okay, thank you, Kirsty. We'll have a discussion and we'll ask our strategy team. So, Craig,
Yeah. So yeah, let's
yeah,
talk
we have
through
to.
these options.
So, Kirsty's given us a few different options for our pit stop. We can make a pit stop where we change only the tyres, and that's going to be quite a quick pit stop. That's only going to take us about 3 seconds to do. But there's some other changes we can make, which will definitely make the car faster later on in the race, but it will take longer. It might take 4, 7, or even 11 or so seconds to do those other more complicated pit stops.
So I'm looking at these stats here, Daniel. Like, I can see we could try and make some more changes, but it's going to take us longer. Like the estimated pit stop times there, if we're only changing the tires, which we definitely need to do, it's going to take 3 seconds. But should we do those other things as well? Should we change the front wing? Should we do the suspension? We could be in the pit stop for, like, the last time we did the full one, Daniel, the Delta, it took nearly 12 seconds. That's probably a lot of time when the cars are driving so fast.
It is, quite a few people could get past us. But then again, that might be the right thing to do.
Yeah, because if we make that change now, that actually might increase our speed much later on in the race when we really need it. So maybe we should be taking the opportunity to do it now. So this is why we've got a strategy team to help us. You're going to tell us, should we go for plan alpha, beta, gamma, or delta? What do you think?
Now, strategist, I'm going to have to push you for a decision. The cars are coming around. We've only got about 30 seconds till the pit stop has to happen. We need a decision right now.
Okay.
Craig, what are people saying?
Do you want to see the results?
Yes, we need to keep it moving.
Okay.
The cars are coming. Oh gosh, it's very close,
So
isn't
close, Daniel. It looks like I'm going to turn off the responses. Okay, just now it looks like most people are saying it should be an alpha or a beta, and most people have said the alpha. So we're going to go for just the tire changes, Daniel.
Just the tire change? Okay, Kirsty,
Yeah.
tires only. Tires only. Okay, Craig. Right, the cars are coming around. Let's check in on this pit stop.
Three seconds. That was pretty quick, Daniel. That was pretty quick.
How many places have we lost?
We've only lost one place.
Only lost
it's
one.
only
Oh,
golden
good.
ratio that have. So we're still up there. So I think in that case we've probably made the right decision. We've barely lost any space in the race, and we've been able to fix the main thing that was in trouble, which was the tires. I kind of wonder what would have happened if we'd taken the extra time, Daniel, to increase the other elements, but we've made that decision, and I suppose we've done what we needed to do.
Yes, we have.
Shall we get back to the racing action?
Yes, let's check in on the race.
You join us again as we're coming towards the last few laps of the race. Daniel, we're in lap 50 out of 53. This is another time when tough decisions will need to be made, but the good news is we've moved up one space, Daniel.
Craig, I'm going to have to interrupt you again. Sorry, I keep doing this, but Kirsty has a question.
Hi team, it's Kirsty. We need your help with our strategy. We're running in third place with a few laps to go. Our driver wants to push hard for the win, but there's a risk that the tyres will blow out. We've had them on for a long time. The engineer says that there is a 1 in 3 chance of a blowout if we push it too far. What should we do? Tell the driver to push, or to drive gently and guarantee third place? Your data decision making matters. Thanks, team.
Okay, thank you, Kirsty. Let's talk through our options here, Craig, with the strategist. So we are on the limit of these tires. We are pushing them. They should really get changed as soon as possible. But we are very close to victory. And this is the last race of the season. This is our last chance to take that win.
Yeah.
What
I
should
mean,
we
we're in
do?
third place. We're so close to it. Like, maybe we should just go for it. Or, I don't know. It could end in disaster, Daniel. I suppose taking a calculated risk is all part of Formula One as well.
Yes, so Kirsty told us that there's a 1 in 3 chance, a 1/3 chance of a blowout if we push it too hard.
Mhm.
What that means is there's a 2/3 chance that there isn't a blowout, but do we want to take that risk or not? Where third place is respectable, but it's not the top step of the podium. It's not winning.
Mm. Shall we let people make a vote then, Daniel, first? So, do you think we should take that chance and go for it, try to get into first place, or should we hold fire, maybe hope the people in front make a mistake, and that allows us to win as well? So there's a 1 in 3 chance it could go wrong, Daniel, but there's a 2 in 3 chance we should be okay.
That's right.
Let's get your answers in. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, so I can see answers are flying in. Want as many answers as possible for this question. This is a really important decision. This is going to have big repercussions for where we finish in the championship.
Okay. I think another 30 seconds, Daniel, because I can see all the answers flooding in. Lots of thumbs up, lots of confidence here. Are we going to keep going and take the risk? Or are we going to pit stop and make sure that we're fresh? Don't take that risk.
Yeah, so I can see almost 400 of you have submitted your decision. I know there's a few more of you still to make it.
Right. Tell me when, Daniel, and then I'll close the responses.
Okay, let's give people 10 more seconds.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Okay, we're gonna stop taking answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, Daniel. The votes are in.
Okay.
Shall I reveal the results?
Let's
This is
find
what we
out.
said.
It's close. It's close.
It's closer than it's ever been, but there is an answer, Daniel. It's 56% are saying we're going to go ahead and take that risk. Now, how are we going to simulate that risk today? Well, I have a random number generator, Daniel. Okay. So I'll show you. I have a die here, okay? Like a 6-sided die, okay? And we're going to use this to sort of get an idea of the risk today. So it's a 1 in 3 chance. So there's 6 numbers on a die. I prepared a little slide for us, Daniel. Let's have a look at this. So if I roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4, we're going to say that there's no problems, okay? But if I roll a 5 or a 6, then that means that something's going to go wrong, because do you see how that's kind of a 2/3 and a 1/3 chance, Daniel? So like 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 is 2/3 and 5 and 6 is 1/3. Okay, so this is a fair dice. So I'll roll it a few times just to test it. So that was a 3, that was a 6, that was also a 6, okay?
Okay.
But we're going to do it for real this time, Daniel.
Okay.
So what do we want to roll
I'm
here?
nervous. We want to roll a 1, 2, a 3, or a 4.
Okay.
A 5 or a 6 would be really bad, Craig. Don't roll one of those.
So if I roll a low number, I want everyone in your class to cheer as loud as you can. Okay? You ready, Daniel?
Okay.
It's a 2. It's a 2, Daniel.
Okay. That means we can push. Now, that means we've
Yes.
got just enough life in these tires to survive us pushing for a couple of laps. Now, that doesn't guarantee that we're going to pass our opponents. It doesn't guarantee that we're going to win, but it means we're still in the game. It means we can push for a few laps. Now,
Let's see if we can do it, Daniel.
let's check in on the action on the last bit of this Grand Prix. Craig, we did it. We are the winners.
Oh, brilliant. By trusting the numbers and understanding the risks, you made the data driven decisions that led us to victory. Fantastic job, team. Well done.
Yes,
Well,
and we have a thank you message I think coming through from Kirsty, a little like race update. Are you okay if we put her through, Craig?
yeah, go for it.
Okay, over to you, Kirsty.
Hi, strategy team! We did it! Overtaking the race leaders wasn't easy. They really knew how to position their car to make it impossible to get close and past them. But by letting the driver push, we made an overtake stick on the last lap. It was so close, those tyres were right to the limit. Despite the challenges, your mathematical and probability skills helped us win first place. By trusting the numbers and understanding the risks, you made the data-driven decisions that led us to victory. Fantastic job, team!
Craig, that sounds like Kirsty's really happy with the decisions that we made today. A lot of really good calls from everyone.
Fantastic. Well done, everyone. You used maths, data, and a little bit of luck to take Fractal Racing to the top of the podium.
Yes, you achieved a lot this morning. You learned about how maths is used in Formula One. You got hands-on with the same kinds of data that strategy engineers will use, like charts and graphs and tables. And you also use probabilities to take some calculated risks. But before you go, there is one task for you to do. And I'd like you to think about this like it's your victory lap. We have a post-race interview for you all, some feedback questions. So I'd like you to answer those just now.
Thank you very much for taking part today. We've had over 1,000 of you taking part this morning. If you're a teacher, make sure you like this video and you subscribe to our channel. So yes, pupils, tell your teachers to go over and like the video now and subscribe to us so your class can join us for more live lessons.
But for now, that is all we have time for the Maths Week Scotland Winter Grand Prix. So it's goodbye from Craig.
Bye-bye.
And it's goodbye from me as well. Bye-bye.